All right, so we're gonna do a little video on how to, I searched to see if anybody had a video on how to fix a DSI transducer for trolling motor. And since mine broke, so the last time we were out, it was, I don't know if it was from the cold or what, but this part of the transducer mount, this little hole here broke. I think it was partially from running it into stuff and also partially from it was 16 degrees. So here's what you get in the package. You get a couple zip ties, but you're going to need more zip ties. You're going to need probably 10 or 12 zip ties. You got your mount for the transducer to go into, and then your mount to mount the whole thing to the motor, instruction manual, and then a little cushion. I'm assuming that goes underneath there. I don't know if we'll use that. But yeah, we're gonna get this on. I looked for a video, I didn't see any, so I figured I would do a quick one. It shouldn't take too long. It should be pretty easy. Alright, so here's the picture of the transducer. It was right in here, right there. And I think it broke off just because of running it into stuff more than the cold, but it was really cold that day. So here's the clip, and we're gonna just start off by taking that off, and we'll get into this thing now, and we'll see if we can, you can see how far this needs to run up. Don't forget to go in between your mount here, but this has got to go all the way up here. So I'll show you how we mount that once we get it done. And yeah, so I'm going to get started here. We're going to take the old clamp off and get everything kind of prepped for this thing to go back together. Well, the first step is going to be taking off your old clamp. I'm actually going to use the new clamp that came with it, just because I think that'll be a good thing to use the new clamp instead of just the old clamp. Now, if this thing gives you a hard time, you just need to get this thing off. So just, you know, loosen it up and then get it off. So I'm going to come back here and we're going to get this thing off. It might be a little bit stubborn because it's been in the water all the time. So you might have to use some penetrating oil. This is not bad. This is not working that bad at all. It's coming right off. So basically just get it off enough to get around the front of the trolling motor here. And once that comes off, you can just get rid of that. You have a new one anyway that comes in the mounting kit. So now this is probably worthwhile. This needs to fit in. There's little tabs. There's little tabs that fits in like that, and you'll see them in here. So oh, there they are. So there's the little tabs that you're gonna want that transducer. So those little tabs right here, the transducer is gonna line up in there really good. So, and you just slide this in so the transducer slides in all the way, and you want that in, and that's just gonna fit in just like that. And we'll get a nice close-up of that so you can see if you can see that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there we go. That's how she fits in. She fits into the clips, and then that's gonna fit nice, and then your wire, of course, is gonna fit right in the front there. So basically that's how she fits in. And basically I'm gonna mount it the same place it was because I didn't have a problem with it. I'm gonna put it right there, and then we'll just zip tie this guy, you know, as we go up. And that's all there really is to it. So now you just get your new clamp, and you're gonna undo it so you can slide the clamp through the two little mounting holes. So just undo this all the way. So you're gonna undo that all the way. Well, it's just a worm gear clamp, any automotive type clamp. So basically you want that there, That's going to go through there. You can even use the same, make sure you can even use the same location, of course. So, get the worm gear started. That might be a little tricky getting the worm gear started. Sometimes they don't want to go, but there. So now we got it started. We can actually kind of make sure we can just look in here, make sure it's where it was. Now you're just going to use your screwdriver. Start getting it down. So these can be kind of a pain in the rear end, so now you're just going to do this. Screw it down until you get it tight. Just kind of keep making sure it's where you want it. Probably wind up cutting off some of this clamp. She's getting there though. Run it right on the bottom. And once we get this guy all tight, now she's tightening up. So now you can see where that is. Basically, you just want that on the, you want it just right on the bottom. You can see my wire's nice here, and it'll, we'll zip tie that up once we're done. And we can, okay, so it's pretty much right where I want it. Just want to make sure it's on the bottom. You want it to go nice and straight down, obviously, because you want the return to come back right. So I just stand back a little, make sure it's on the bottom, make sure it's straight, and then you can tighten that guy on there. So now she's tight, she's not going to move. We'll make an extra little, get it nice and tight on there. So she's definitely not going to move on you. So that's about it. Now, I don't know, I'm going to line it up with the skeg here. So I'm going to undo this. I'm a little bit off. I want to get it lined up with the skeg. So that'll be like nice right in the middle. I want that skeg going like that. So see how that is. It's basically, and you can kind of tell that the skeg goes right through the middle of the transducer, a little tilted. We're going to straighten that out anyway. So basically that should be perfect right there, just like that. And then once we're done with that, and you get it tightened where you want it, so there, that's done. Now all we're going to do is, of course, they give you basically 2 zip ties. You need more zip ties than that. We'll probably, I think this guy was zip tied right here. This is where she started off. And they're very small zip ties, so you're probably going to want to get some bigger zip ties in there, just for, and I'm going to show you what zip ties I use right now. So here's the zip ties I'm using. You can see they're a little bit bigger than what was on there. Probably need about 4 or 5 of them. So we'll go right here, and you're just going to take the wire and basically you can almost see how this one was on before. It was just on like this. And then what we're gonna do, once we get this thing on all the way, we're gonna make sure, we're gonna lower that trolling motor and make sure that it spins all the way. So we're just taking the zip ties. I'm gonna zip tie that wire on so it's nice and tight. Basically, that's about all you got to do. That's about it. Once it's on and it's tight, you can see how it's going to turn here. And we'll put one more. We'll put one more up right on the top here, on the top of the motor. Put one more zip tie up here, so it's nice and tight. And then we'll check it. Now we can load the motor, put it down, and then basically just turn it from stop to stop and make sure it doesn't lock up at all. And this one doesn't, so we're perfect. So put it back up, and then all we're gonna do once we're done is cut off the edges of those. So now we just cut off the edges of, cut off the zip ties. So you just come in here and cut your zip ties, and then I'll show you the finished product once I'm done cutting all those zip ties off. Okay, and there you have it. So here's the new transducer. You can see she's nice and even with the keel, pretty straight. I might cut some of this off just right up here with a pair of diagonal cutters. I might cut this off right here, but you can see this goes up nice. It's got a little bit of slack here. Goes up. There's your zip ties. And you just can see how I left a little bit of slack right here around this just so it can move, and it's secured here. And then yeah, so all right, quick video on how to put your DSI transducer for your trolling motor on, and hopefully that helps you guys out if you ever knock it off. I would recommend, because this thing is plastic, I'm actually going to carry some zip ties, some big zip ties in the boat from now on. In case this breaks, you can always, all you need is that transducer to stay down, and you'll be able to get a reading. So you might want to think about putting maybe 8 or 10 zip ties in the boat with you if you have one of these transducers, so that in case you run into something, or you just hit something, or it's cold and the plastic cracks, you can get back up and running. All right, hopefully that helped you out. See you out on the water.